Hey guys, welcome to Double Shot of Penguins, presented by the Moe's Southwest Grill. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, joined by Chris Halleck. Penguins fresh off of a 2-1 shootout loss to the Lightning last night. Played really well, had a dynamic overtime. Arturs Silovs in the shootout. Thanks for coming, everybody. If you're smart, you start heading to the exits and beat everybody out of that Melody tent lot on your way home. It's just a culture thing, Chris, isn't it? Why can't you just change the goalie? Every other sport, I mean, almost every other sport, you can just say, okay, we'll put somebody else in who's good at this. You know, the NFL has the tush push. Major League Baseball has relief pitchers. You just change to the player that works.
Yeah, I was just thinking the whole baseball thing of the evolution away from starting pitchers going so deep into games. It's just, hey, the starter can just go nuts for 5 innings and then we'll turn it over to the bullpen. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's, goaltending is a bit of a different art.
Breakaways are a different art. Like the guy can make saves.
Yeah.
He can make the first save in regulation and in overtime. There's 2 things he can't do. Well, actually 3 things. And it's been true from the day he arrived. He can't stop rebounds, or he just manufactures them out of thin air like he did on the Lightning's only regulation goal. The other thing he can't do, well, the second thing he can't do is he can't stick handle or handle the puck at all. And the third thing is anything remotely resembling a shootout. It's a clean breakaway.
Mm-hmm.
He had a breakaway against the Flames on Saturday, right at the beginning of the game. Make a save. Connor Zary comes in. He sees the entire net around Silovs and just randomly picks his spot as if it was a soccer kick.
I wonder if this isn't just as much about like switching goaltenders for the shootout, but just when do you go away from this rotation? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying obviously you can't start Skinner every single game. That's not a back-to-back. I get that. But if Skinner is your number 1, then should he be getting the number of number 1 starts? You know,
the rotation is very much up for discussion. However, very rarely do I come to Silovs' defense in anything, but he played really well last night against the Lightning.
Yeah.
65 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Skinner would have played that well for those same 65 minutes with the team not scoring, which is a completely separate issue, but also a very real one. John says, I love your takes, guys, but you can't switch a goalie who's been in the game for one sitting on the bench just for the shootout. What makes you think that the sitting goalie is going to succeed? I hear this, okay? I talk to the goalies, and they'll tell you much the same. It's just a matter of switching it up. If you take here, 99 has a really good way of looking at this. If you send Skinner, he's just sitting on the folding chair. Tell him, hey, Stu, 60 minutes. Go. He has the entire overtime period to prepare himself. Actually, he has as long as he wants. All he's doing is sitting on a folding chair.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the back, stretch himself out properly, prepare as if you're coming into a game.
Mm-hmm.
The same way you would if that goaltender were injured. You do come in cold, and thanks to the 1980s New York Islanders and some delay tactics that they used to employ, that goaltender no longer gets. We used to get warm-up shots until the Islanders began abusing. These are the dynasty Islanders. Al Arbor used to use it as a delay tactic. He would switch goalies constantly when he needed a break.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it was hilarious. They would just come in and they would take 10 warm-up shots. All right, Al, that's enough of that. So nobody takes warm-up shots anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the back. Do what you need to do. Get yourself in. You're facing 3, 4, maximum 5 clean breakaways. Do you need to be stretched out? Sure. Do you need to be warm? Sure. Go do that. Be a pro.
Yeah, it's also a completely different game than it is going in and playing regulation hockey. I mean, it is. I mean, all the conversation of it's not real hockey. It's not real hockey. Well, I mean, it's not. It's just the player gets it's a penalty shot, and that's all it is. And yeah, I don't understand I understand the whole cold goaltender thing. I get that. I understand it. But again, other sports have evolved in different ways, and we have not seen hockey evolve in that way.
No, and it's totally cultural, because when it came up with Dan Muse last night, it's the third time it's been asked of him whether or not he would consider switching goalies. A guy who never gives you a flat yes or a flat no because he's the real cerebral, thoughtful type, just said no.
Yeah.
And it's just cultural. It's nothing else. You don't want to risk embarrassing the goaltender by having him switch. Hey, too bad. I've seen a manager walk onto the mound and take the baseball away from Paul Skeens. He can deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just
the goal is to win the game.
That's it. The goal is to get points for the standings. And if you look at the Penguins' state right now and where they are, and how many points they've thrown away on these stupid shootouts, it's a part of the game. This idea that it's some separate little sideshow, Silovs is costing the team points by being totally non-competitive on these things. I don't know if everybody knows the numbers here. He has now faced 16 shootout attempts. He has given up 11 goals. He might as well not be there. And a lot of those non-goals out of those 5 were just total whiffs, like Sid's last night. We're just somebody missing the net, or one game in Philadelphia. I don't remember exactly who it was from the Flyers.
Just Konechny.
Konechny just let it roll off of his blade, like Sid to the other side. Yeah, it was Konechny of all people.
Yeah.
So he's made like 3 saves on these things in 60. You could bring somebody. If you told Stuart Skinner, you don't even have to stretch, just exist. Just stand there. You'd get more than 3 saves out of 16 shots. Anyway, I'm just throwing this out there. There's different ways of looking at the shootout. There's different ways of valuing the shootout. When the shootout was initially instituted 20 years ago in the NHL, Chris, the Penguins had a player named Erik Karlsson. Maybe you remember the name.
I do.
Karlsson was an ace at the lower minor league levels, not in the AHL. Draft pick. 4th rounder, as I recall. Unbelievable repertoire. Now everybody has this, but at the time he was a freak. He was a specialist at this, and he was just a slam dunk for the goal. You never knew what he was going to do. He was going to undress somebody. He was going to figure out a way to make it happen. He was back then, before his time. What's his name from TJ Oshie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oshie was just automatic, not just against Vladimir Putin and the Russians in the Olympics. But these things are tough to watch from the other perspective. Looking at it at the other end, I'm not one to criticize Sid, but he tried something that was a little bit fancier than what he usually does. He almost tried a little bit of a Patty Kane down low, where he slowed up and started extra. He just needs to be Sid. You've scored a lot of goals in this league. Just shoot the puck somewhere, backhand it maybe. He tried to, you saw what he was doing. He was trying that little tick 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 at the end.
Yeah, I think I've even said that like Sid, I'd really like to see him go more in the direction of like what Oshie would do. Now, I'm not saying that because Oshie was automatic, but Oshie was never doing all of this, tick, 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 all this. He would have a very slow approach. He would read the goaltender, and he could have a move where he goes quickly to the forehand, quickly to the backhand. He could just fire a shot to the 5-hole. It's one deke and then a shot, and we know Sid has the hands to do that.
Oh,
It's not that he doesn't have the hands. That's what I'm saying. Like I think what TJ Oshie, like when you think about like great shootout goals and penalty shot goals, you think about Pavel Datsyuk. You think about
I just think about Datsyuk and stop there.
who just think about guys who just undress guys like Thomas Vokoun. But sometimes you have guys like Oshie who find success by just not overcomplicating it. And
now it's not very different than what Nikita Kucherov did last night to Silovs. Now he didn't need to be that rude about it. Okay. And he really was too. He was like, he's coming down the rink and he's like, I got this move. I'm not wasting it on this guy. I'm going to find a little gap about this big between his blocker arm and the pad, and I'm just going to flick it there as if I was doing it to my son in the driveway. Okay. Ethan says, dare I say it, put Kevin Hayes in for the shootout. Hayes is really good at these things. There are lineup decisions that you can make towards shootouts. Now, you can laugh that off, and you can say, well, you only get 10 or 15. The Penguins, if they were even decent in the shootout, would be in contention for the top of the Eastern Conference. That's not an exaggeration. It's just not. That's math. And on top of that, imagine the good feeling that would compound that. Maybe you'd feel better about yourself as a hockey team, because now instead of leaving the rink all mopey last night, when you played the class of the Eastern Conference, dead even.
Again.
And I see that. Well, actually, they played better in this one. They didn't have Tristan Jarry stealing the points the way they did down in Tampa. They were a lot more competitive in this one than they were in the game that they won down in Tampa.
Yeah.
I see some of you in our live chat getting a little defensive here. That yes, it was a good point, says MJ. I'm not. We're just picking on one thing here. Okay, that was a point that was hard earned and important coming off of that weekend. They needed to play a certain way.
Yeah,
Chris, they needed to play a certain way coming off losing Erik Karlsson, which for me is a big concern. They don't have one of those sitting out back in the shed that you can just roar up here. Connor Clifton ain't it.
No. And with the way Letang has looked this season, you can't just say, oh, well, it's no big deal. We've got Chris Letang. I understand. Like, to me, this is at the time almost as concerning as when Letang went down right before the 2017 playoff run. Because at the time it was like, who the heck is going to be the guy who logs 20 plus minutes every single night, 25 minutes possibly on some of these games? Like, who's going to be that guy? And they survived that. Now it's like, who's going to be the guy who steps up for Karlsson? I mean, Letang's going to be that guy, but then that affects the overall depth. That affects your second right-handed defenseman, your third right-handed defenseman. Dare I say, this might be a good time. It's almost like maybe like the time this should have happened a couple of weeks ago, and they could have made a different decision on Harrison Brunick. I don't know, but
oh, geez,
yeah.
That's a tough one to bring up right now. Yeah. Well, yes, he would definitely step up in the literal hockey sense. He would be your guy who would be pinching a little bit. He'd be making things happen in the offensive zone. As it is, you can hope for a couple of things here. One, I think, is that it's not like Letang isn't used to being the guy.
Of course.
He's been the guy for the better part of his career.
Not saying he's not.
Yeah, he'll be comfortable in that symbolic state.
Yeah.
But what you're really missing here, and this is doubly true when you're talking about a team that now has 2 goals in 3 games, you're missing the puck and the bodies getting to the net.
Mm-hmm.
I brought this up with Dan Muse over the weekend, and it came up again last night. and he's starting to get a little bit edgy about it. You could tell, and that's okay. That's okay. You know what? He gets asked about the shootout again, and what do you know? There they were today in Cranberry practicing what? Shootouts.
Shootouts, yeah.
I mean, you can't. This really is a culture thing. I don't want to get stuck on this shootout again, but
well, I mean,
culture thing.
It's. I understand like people like not wanting to focus too much on it, but like you said, this has literally cost the Penguins standing. Like it just has. It has cost them the ability. Like this might be with how tight the Eastern Conference is, the difference between making the playoffs and not making the playoffs.
Yeah. Banksy says Andrei Vasilevsky was out at the hash marks. He was so aggressive. When do shooters go in with speed? Yeah, you didn't see Vasi try that stunt with Ricard Raquel in a hurry, did you? See, this is why, I mean, his racks came flying in there. And I thought he had a great move. Just a real powerful take it across your backhand, and he got beat by the best goalie on the planet. That's all that happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Sid, man, go in there with speed. You're Sid. He doesn't need to be trying the Kuznetsov, Evgeny Kuznetsov, where you go in there at 2 miles an hour and and any of that nonsense, the Trevor Zegras type moves. Just go. Just go. You're Sid. If you're Sid on a breakaway, the entire arena stands up. Like a regular old breakaway in a game.
Yeah.
Because they know you're going to finish. Just do that. Just pretend you're wearing the Canada sweater and you're going, against the USA and you're Sid. Just go in there and do it like that. Do it with speed. Especially later in the game when the ice isn't so great and everything else. How did we end up on shootouts again, Chris? This team needs to, for the third thing that I was going to mention for Karlsson, get the puck through to the net. Karlsson does that as well as any defenseman who has ever lived. That's actually not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
In terms of finding paths, getting the puck through, not just randomly to the net, but to specific blades and targets. You don't have anybody now who can do that. Letang's actually never been good at it. When people have a chance to shoot from the point, whether you're Letang or whether you're Jack St. Ivany or anybody else, they've got to take it. The puck has a much easier time beating all that traffic than a body does.
Yeah, of course, and like I've said, when the Penguins have played their best, when they've been scoring goals, it's just been simply playing hockey, doing a lot of the basics, and doing them at a high level. It's getting the puck deep. It's winning it on the forecheck. It's getting the puck back to your point whenever you need to rotate it back to the point, and it's getting the puck to the net. I think about a couple of these games here during the 6-game winning streak that they had, in which they were just ripping shots. I mean, the one game, I don't remember if it was Detroit or Columbus, where they had 92 shot attempts. I mean, they were just firing the puck. Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
They were just firing the puck as often as possible. It's like get inside the offensive zone and just fire it. Like that's all. It's a different brand whenever you play that way, but it's a brand that man, it can generate some goals, and at the very, very least, it generates a lot of pressure, which again, at the very least, that the other team's not going to be scoring because you're dominating play in the other zone.
Carter Stash here says, I'd love to see Owen Pickering get a chance with Karlsson out, not a replacement, but the injury makes some room on the roster. Pickering's lefty. That's obviously not going to help you out on the right side. You're not moving Pickering to the right side. He's an important prospect. The last thing you need to be doing is messing with his development for the sake of a short-term, ideally, injury. But that also brings up whether or not it is short-term or not. You saw the injury report, Chris. You saw the way it was worded, which was Karlsson's going to be out for 2 weeks, and then we'll reevaluate. What's that mean?
Yeah.
Does that mean that maybe he has some kind of microfracture and they're going to see if it heals on its own? Do you follow me? This is what I was thinking here, especially since he finished the game
in
Boston And according to our reporter from DK Pittsburgh Sports on the scene, Taylor Haas up in Boston, she said that he was chatty after the game. He wasn't getting any kind of treatment. That tends to be one of those fractures.
Yep.
And then it's something a little bit sore. They look at it on the x-ray and they go, oh, geez. And then you hope that it heals without somebody ramming a screw into your foot.
Yep.
This is not information.
Nope.
Okay?
No, but
not for me and not from her either. This is just throwing it out there.
No, but it makes sense. I mean,
what else are you evaluating? Yeah,
exactly. Sure. I mean, it could be a number of different injuries, but usually if it's an ankle sprain or if it's, some sort of, pulled muscle and they have an actual grade on it, whatever it is, you kind of know what the prognosis is. It's 2 to 3 weeks on this, it's 4 to 6 weeks on that, whatever it is. But when you're 2 weeks and then we'll reevaluate, it's definitely something that you're kind of wondering, like, man, this might be like, I don't know if the Olympics happen at this point for him.
Well, that's something that Banksy brings up here. I'm worried about Karlsson aggravating his injury at the Olympics. Man, how do I put this? He really wants to play in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That makes him no different than anybody else in the NHL. That doesn't make him selfish. That doesn't mean he puts it above the Penguins. But this would be the second time he's represented Sweden at the Olympics in his life. The first time was in 2014, games I covered over in Sochi, Russia. And he and Sweden took the silver medal, which was a really impressive achievement for that country and their program and everything else. They feel, and my goodness, Chris, should they ever, that they've got a chance at gold in this one.
Well, of course. They have a heck of a roster.
They've got every position. They're not missing anything. That's not to say that they're better. That's not to say that they've got, the way Canada does, Sid and McDavid and the U.S. incredible depth that the Americans have, the goaltending that the Americans have. But they got just enough of everything that they could win it. And you would not say, wow, what a stunning upset that the Swedes won gold. He wants to be part of that.
Yeah.
He wants to be part of that. The Penguins, for the record, I believe, Chris, if he were to come back in 2 weeks, whatever that magical thing is that they've put out there, the Penguins have 5 games after that here, not Italy. They have 5 games after that before everybody heads overseas. So he would not be the first or only person to play it cool near the end and make sure that he's healthy for the big international competition. The captain did that. Let's remember, Sid missed those last 2 games this past season in New York and then in Philadelphia. And then he went to 4 Nations and was really, really good. He was Sid. It's just important to these guys. Talk about something that's different and unique to the hockey culture.
No, I mean, it is absolutely very, very important. And I think it's even more important now because NHL players haven't participated in the past 2 Winter Olympics. There are some guys, think about it. There are some guys who have been in the league for a decade that have never represented their country.
Oh, and this is it. I mean,
yeah.
Karlsson's not getting another one when he's 40.
No. Nope.
So this is a really, really, really big deal for these guys. And so I, for one, wouldn't begrudge him that. I know how much it means to him. I know how much it means to Raquel. I know how much it means to Sid. I know how much it means to Silovs to represent. He's going to be the starting goaltender for Latvia, I think, unless they use Merzlikins, which would be weird. And there's no shootouts. Well, actually, there are. Ty says that the Karlsson thing is likely related to the Olympics. Not yet. No, they're not lying on the injury reports. Let him. If he's got a fracture, he has to let it heal. He can't just go jumping on his skates and just and wound it further, whether he's playing for Pittsburgh or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So MJ brings up when I found the old Pittsburgh bar in Sochi. It was hilarious. For anybody who doesn't remember that story, that was now 12 years ago. And I went there and I was doing some stuff for the local NBC affiliate. And I found this bar. It was just called Pittsburgh. And it's got this big word, Pittsburgh, out front. It's got the very visible outline of our skyline. This isn't Russia.
Yeah.
What the hell is this, right? Walk in there, and you have to go down a set of steps to get to the actual bar area. And there are it's really dark, and there are all these photos of Pittsburgh down there. And I asked the guy, like, the hell is this? You think it's like Pittsburgh Sports Bar? It's not at all like one of those like Steelers bars. It's like some really cool, dark European style place. And he goes, I don't know. The owner, he went to school at Pitt really briefly, like one summer. He thought it was a beautiful city, so he thought it would make for a great restaurant theme overseas. That's it. That was it.
That's cool.
They had no idea where it was, Steelers, sports, nothing. They had absolutely no idea. Yeah, great stuff here. Let's see what else we got here. We're going to take one more here. Ramel's asking all kinds of random. He just got lost here. He was looking for our football thing. He's asking all kinds of random, what is hockey type questions here.
Ramel also asks or says there's a Pittsburgh, Texas.
There is not.
Not with the H.
With the H. We're the only ones with the H, pal.
Yeah.
The H is exclusively ours. Anywhere that there's a Pittsburgh, it's missing the H here.
That's correct. But yes, I do know where that Pittsburgh, Texas is, though.
The last one that we're looking for here comes from Sam Jones. Says, what trade are you making before the deadline? I heard Alexis Lafreniere is being shopped. Is it someone like him? Maybe. You know what? If you think about how bad the Rangers are with development, and they are. They had Gerard. They allowed Gerard Gallant to basically turn him into a third line plugger, first overall pick, because that was what Gallant needed at the moment. They tried to ruin Capo Caco. He goes to Seattle. What do you know? He's, guys. This program has been yes. But my answer to you is yes. I would take Lafreniere in a heartbeat, and I would try to make something of him offensively. Kind of like what everybody's hoping happens with Igor Chinakhov. This program has been brought to you by our good friends, as I mentioned earlier, at the Moe's Southwest Grill, where they are offering the $9.95 value meal. Now, this is a giant burrito, this thing. And it comes with a couple ounces of Moe's trademark queso as well, and a large drink. Value, of course, is all relative. Chris inhales these things.
I do.
So value for Chris is like, what would it be if you can get 2 value meals?
I would.
And see how quick Chris can take these down.
I would inhale 2. I would just.
And it wouldn't even cost you $20. Again, the value meal at Moe's, and this is at all locations, not just the one we have here at Market Square downtown. All the locations in southwestern Pennsylvania. $9.95 is the value meal. Ask for it. You will not be disappointed by either the quantity or the quality. Guys, head on over. Follow Ramel since he got lost here. All he wants to do is just ask questions, acting like he's interested in hockey. We see right through you, Ramel. We know what's going on here. Look, we call him out. Look what happens here. Correct. We're talking football over at the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel within 2 minutes.